Do it for real. Good morning, everybody. Let's stand and call the meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Y'all note for the record that all board members are in attendance. Good morning. Good morning. We'll go right into our agenda. I move to approve the minutes from the May 5th, 2025 board meeting. Second by Ms. Stewart. Any unreadiness? Hearing none, all in favor, aye. Aye. The ayes have it. Thank you so much. And on the candidate and petition services, we want to acknowledge the following withdrawal, and I move to acknowledge candidate withdrawal from the September 9th, 2025 primary election. Johnny Barnes III, Maple Heights City Council, District 1, nonpartisan. Second by Mr. McCafferty. Any unreadiness? All in favor, aye. Aye. The ayes have it. And on the registration, the chair acknowledges and recognizes Mr. Hassani Wheat.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hassani Wheat, registration manager. In front of you, you have the May 6th, 2025 primary election provisional verification summary. A total of 462 provisional ballots were cast during the May 6th, 2025 primary election. All 462 provisional ballots were cast in accordance with Chapter 8 provisional voting of the Ohio Secretary of State Election Official Manual and Directive 2025-26 canvass and certification of the May 6, 2025 primary special election and the mandatory step-by-step process for examining provisional ballots, all of which were issued by the Ohio Secretary of State's office. Of the 462 provisional ballots, 396 were confirmed to be valid provisional ballots. This includes 9 provisional ballots that were cast in the wrong precinct correct location that was eligible to be remade. 66 provisional ballots were rejected for various reasons. Those various reasons are 20 that were not registered in the state of Ohio, 13 that had missing acceptable identification, 11 that were voted absentee, 8 that had non-matching identification, 6 that were wrong precinct, wrong location, 2 that were missing date of birth, 2 that had a non-matching signature, 1 that was an incomplete address, 1 that was voted absentee with a challenge, 1 that had a invalid address, and 1 that was not eligible because it was a 17-year-old ballot, 17-year-old that voted on an issues only ballot. Of note, the highest number of rejected provisionals comes from voters that were not registered in the state of Ohio at 20, which has been consistently the top category for provisional rejections. There were 46 provisional voters who voted into Cuyahoga, who moved into Cuyahoga County from other counties, and we verified that they did not vote in their previous county. And 20 outgoing provisional voters who moved into a new county in Ohio and did not vote in Cuyahoga County. The next page provides some additional information and reasons regarding voters who cast a provisional ballot. In addition to the 20 voters that were not registered in the state of Ohio, there were 182 provisional voters that had a name and or address change. 185 provisional voters were ones who had requested but did not return their vote by mail ballot. 5 provisional voters did appear at the Board of Elections during the SOS mandated 4-day provisional cure period after the election. However, only 1 voter needed to cure her provisional ballot by providing a valid form of ID. Below is the provisional rejections comparison chart. 12% of the rejections were ones that can be improved through PEO training. Those are wrong precinct, wrong location, and missing date of birth, and that voter had left the date of birth section blank, and the poll worker didn't catch it and didn't remind the voter to fill it in. 88% of the rejections were based on information that the voter provided or other circumstances, such as not registered, voted absentee, missing acceptable identification, non-matching signature, an incomplete address. The registration department is recommending that 396 provisional ballots from the May 6, 2025 primary election be approved for opening and tabulating, and that the 66 rejected provisional ballots remain sealed. Questions?
Thank you, Mr. Wheat. Board members, any questions for Mr. Wheat? All right, thank you for that report. And having heard that, I move to open, to authorize the registration department and the ballot department to open and count the 396 ballot provisional ballots, and that the 66 rejected ballots remain sealed. Any other amendments? All in favor, aye? Aye. The ayes have it. It is so ordered. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Now with Human Resources, I move to approve the appointment of Jimmy Gallegos. Gallegos? Gallegos?
There you go.
Okay, all right, Jimmy Gallegos, database analyst, ISC, effective June the 2nd, 2025. Second by Mr. McCafferty. Just one question. Director, could you just tell us a little bit about this position?
Sure. So this is a database analyst position. For this position, the agency received 83 applications, and from that 83, identified 13 individuals that they brought forward for phone interviews. From the phone interviews, 3 individuals were identified to come in for a in-person interview, as well as a IT computer skills assessment. Through that process, the 3 individuals, Robin Roy, the Chief Information Officer, and Mary Hannah, our database administrator, identified Jimmy as the top candidate, far above the other 2 candidates. He will be graduating this May from Case Western Reserve with a bachelor's degree in computer science. And he is participating in Case Western's dual bachelor's master's program. So he, this August, would also have a master's degree in computer science. In addition to his academic skills, he does have practical work experience, working with Beckett Air, and there in that capacity, he worked with ERP systems. So kind of some of the things that are similar to what we have here, did data analysis, and he had hands-on experience using SQL Server, which is something that we use a lot here. So those skills and some of those experiences align with the systems that we have here. So we're excited to have him. Hopefully he will stay with us for a little bit. The previous 2 individuals in this position, I don't know if either of them made it a year, almost, and they moved on. They contributed quite a bit in their short time, so hopefully Jimmy will do the same, but stick around for a little bit.
Yeah, well, thank you for giving us some context. We do have a motion on the floor. All in favor, aye? Aye. The ayes have it. It is so ordered. Thank you so much. Director Berlotti on the new business.
All right, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about the building move that has been, in addition to the May 6th election, which we are wrapping up. This move has been a huge project, and right now it's actually go time and we're executing it. So the move started on May 12th, on Monday. It is, in my opinion, it's going well. The moving company, Andrews Moving, and the move management company, RSI, along with the Board of Elections, those 3 entities are working very well together. Everything up to this point is on schedule, and I would even say a little bit ahead of schedule with the move. So our staff did as expected, did a lot of good prep work, prepared for it, and that's just making everything else move that much faster. Currently at the building is the executive office, that staff, the fiscal services department, absentee department, the IT department, and candidate and petition services. So those departments have all their staff now working in that building. During this week, the registration department will move once they complete their responsibilities with the provisional ballots. as well as Community Outreach Department will move. So they will be there by this Friday, both of those departments. And that will leave for next week, the poll worker department and human resources to move over. I pretty much have been at the new building. Deputy Director Gallagher has floated between the two, and Lori Acosta in HR has been here kind of as a key point with the move management company in this building. And so again, it's working out well. They are not doing anything today because we have a board meeting today. And when they come, they got trucks flying in and out of the parking lot and monopolizing what's going on in there. There has been some hiccups as expected, and a couple that we did not expect. Monday, I kept hearing this noise. I'm like, what the heck is that? It was a drip in the ceiling in the big bullpen area. And so we reported it. They had a roofer on site. They said that they had a temporary thing in place, don't worry. And then Wednesday, it came in more so than it did on Monday. So they were back out again. And they actually do have a fix in place now that I think the building on the inside part is watertight. We had some heavy rains Wednesday night going into Thursday, and there was not a drop in the bucket that we had there. So I'm happy about that. And we've had some water issues in the garage space where absentee is going to be. That's been an ongoing issue. It still existed. And I think that is resolved also. We are waiting on a written report from the landlord, but pretty much what the case is with the garage, a lot of work on that garage, resurfacing and things like that. And the contractor who did that work, I think wrongly used some of the drains as a as a collection spot for sludge and concrete dust and all of that. And when that gets wet, it is not very friendly for water. So I think basically what happened then is it kind of clogged all those pipes. Water would go in the drain, but couldn't go anywhere. So then just like in a home, it comes out the top and it backfills and it goes everywhere. So last week, a plumbing contractor was on site, unclogged these pipes, jetted them, took a film of it, and everything seems to be clear. The one pipe, when he finally broke through, there was so much water in there that it looked as if you opened up a fire hydrant and it shot 15, 20 feet across, and then there was just sludge everywhere. So from there, we haven't seen any additional water come in. So I think they got that resolved. So again, though, we moved some tables and chairs into the space. We haven't moved any of the electronics or any of the electrical equipment because we wanted to get that clean bill of health. And I think that will be forthcoming because we actually saw the physical work that they're doing and to identify what the issue was and to remedy it. So that'll be good. Otherwise, there's certain things like a door that has a sticky handle and all those things, normal things that you have that county public works, the carpenters are on site almost daily, just addressing and dealing with those things, which is good.
Air conditioning too.
Oh, yeah, the air conditioning. So on the first floor, nice and cool. Second floor, not so much, especially up in the executive wing. It's hot. And so they did have the contractor out on that, and there is a part, it's called the VAV. I think it has something to do with valves and regulating and opening and closing. That is broken. It's on order when it gets there, that will be installed. And I think that then will allow for more air to be up in the second floor. The way the cooling system is in that building is there are what look like thermostats in various rooms, but it's not a thermostat that you touch. It's just taking in temperature. It's a centralized system that the building management has a computer program that they can monitor that, and then they can control things from the computer. So they didn't give us a timeline on when that part would be in, but hopefully sooner than later. This week will be cool. Last week was hot, so we'll see. So we have things like that we're working through. Temporary mail room. That was we needed a wall put up, and I think there was a miscommunication on the timeline of that. Then they understood what needed to happen, and Public Works again responded and got that wall up, overnight in time. So, again, we're just gotta make our little notes, make our punch list of things that need to happen. More things will happen as we move in and live in this space, and that's how you develop some of those. Security seems to be working fine. We do have security personnel on staff in the sheriff's office. Our panic button system was installed last, I think, Thursday. So all that's all moving in the correct direction, which is good. Temporary signage went up last week. To me, the temporary signage looks like it could be permanent signage. It looks pretty good. So, but once you get into the back parking lot, you can clearly see where the Board of Elections is and kind of where you should be heading into. There is a smaller sign up on the front, and they have some other signage on the side of the building to try to draw your attention to it. This week, the drop box will move from the back parking lot over to that location. It's not a specific date, but Public Works will be moving it, and they know it needs to happen somewhere between the 19th and the 23rd. So, yeah, 20, and so they will do that. They're the ones who installed it, so I have no concerns about that. I would say a bigger development, one that we think is a positive development, is that through all this time, we would give updates about the move to 1801 Superior. The Board of Elections is 1803 Superior, and that is due to the United States Postal Service, to the post office. So 1801 Superior exists. That is one of the addresses at the building. If you recall, step 4, the nonprofit is on the 4th floor. They are 1801 Suite 4. And when Health and Human Services moves into the building, they will be 1801 Suite whatever. There are 22 assigned suites through the Postal Service to that building. The post office says, because of the nature of our mail, the possibility of having ballots in our regular mail stream, the volume that we do, and for the post office to do their job to the best of their abilities and use the automation and the technology that they have, Board of Elections must have a different address, which is good, because we had concerns about, we don't want our mail intermingling, because if we were 1801 and if individuals did not put a suite number on there, step forwards and everybody else's would come into a bucket and we would have to sit there and pitch it all out. We don't have to do that now. So the post office reached out to the city of Cleveland, who controls the street addresses in the city where the building is, and to the landlord. And they did this without us knowing that they were doing that. And they got all their agreements and their buy-in, and then they came to us, the Board of Elections, and said, we know you've requested official address information so we could print envelopes and everything, and here's what we got. You're 1803. So it was a good surprise. We informed the county. They were kind of like, whoa. But they understand what's going on. And actually, it's a good time to do it, because other than our discussions in this room, there hasn't been mailings or anything that has gone out that says that 1801 or 3. So now 1803, right away, we had a press release. We had some invited media over to the building, our website, and everything says 1803, and it will be 1803. So, that's a positive win, not only for us administratively, but for the voters. And then staff and Peter James has taken lead on a lot of this. And Rob and Roy working with Google and all those types of things. So if you put it in for GPS, it's recognizing it there, and the different things that people do to find addresses. So we have that new address. So I would say it's good. Staff that are there, I see a lot of smiles, happy. This morning, last Friday was the last day, 4:30 p.m. to come to this building to file or pull petitions. This morning, 8:30 is where we're open for business at 1803. I was standing there prior to 8:30, and 8:35, we had our first 2 customers come in, and when I was leaving to come over here, another person was there. So people got the message. We do have an individual that is sitting at the reception desk at 1803 to receive voters, have them sign in on the log. But we also have an individual at the back desk here. So if someone comes and they're here for candidate type purposes, they are to redirect them to the other building. We created a flyer to hand out that has the street address on there, as well as some simple turn-by-turn instructions. We are about 1.1 miles away from here to there. Deputy Director Gallagher created a sign that we have out behind the building and inside. So if they want to read and do that, they can do that. They can come in, they can ask questions. We dedicated a space on our homepage of our website that has the timeline and where to go. So I think a lot of things are all falling into place, and what we're happy about is that we're able to get this move in enough time to hopefully minimize any confusion as we approach the June 11th filing deadline. At this point, we'll have been living there for about 3 weeks. We won't catch everybody, but we will catch a lot, and it gives us more opportunity to inform individuals. Also, we did send out to our current candidates, or who the municipal candidates, they received an email making them aware of that. So we try to push the word out that way, robocall. So we've done some different things that way.
How long will this building be open to the public for redirection?
We will have people in this building through like the 29th or 30th of May. So all this week, and then probably through Friday of next week.
But at the end of the month, it'll just be signage.
Just be signage, yes. So we'll have, we were thinking of, so we will have a sign like we have now. We'll put something on the door. And we also thought about taking our construction sign and keeping that here in the lot and kind of activating that, saying whatever our message is, board moved, please go to 1803 or something.
Director, are they gonna take the signage down off of this building anytime soon?
That I don't know. We haven't had that conversation. It'd probably be helpful.
That would be good.
Or at least cover it.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Good point. And also 1803, that's the founding of Ohio, so that's an easy, so we don't have to be able to remember that.
There you go.
Right.
You want around.
No, I wasn't around. I read about it. Thank you for that detailed report. Any other questions for the director, deputy director, anything? that
No,
you
I
can-
think the director summed it up correctly, and I think things are going well. Good, we had good planning on the front end, and I think execution has gone as best as it could.
Right, we want to thank you both for your leadership and cooperation with staff. Thank you.
It's been a long process.
Yeah, and guess what? Not doing it again.
Real process.
All right, well, thank you so much. The chair has received a request for public comment, and I recognize Sue Lewis. Ms. Lewis, you please come to the podium. You're welcome to speak to us, and you have up to 5 minutes. If you would please just spell your name for the court reporter and your address, and then we may address the board. Welcome.
Sue Lewis, Lewis, 4079 Border Road, Westlake, Ohio. I come to the meetings from the League of Women Voters. But I'm here today because I'm a person who drives down to vote in person. And so I checked out the new thing on my way in. I often come with a friend of mine who uses a walker, and we vote in person here. And I just wondered if you have any plans to have signage at the street level on Superior. There's a sign on the new building up high. The trees now cover it up if you're sitting in your car and driving down. Knowing where you actually enter the building. You don't expect people to enter the front of the building on Superior ever. Is that correct? If so, directions that, because my friend with the walker, that would be a long walk for her if we tried to come in the front door. So I guess I would just suggest signage at the street level, better to come. It looks like everyone will have to come in on 18th Street. Is that and then come into the building in the back. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much. Would you like?
Sure.
Okay, please.
So there, what we do have up now is temporary signage. Permanent signage package was put together. The Cuyahoga County Public Works Department runs lead on that, so they're working with the architect and getting the permitting that they needed to have that in place. When the permanent signage is there, there will be a much bigger sign that says the Board of Elections, something that will say Cuyahoga County right on the front of the building, as well as a street address. The one thing that the county is trying to figure out now is a little bit of a curveball where the signage package that was going was gonna say 1801 Superior. And now we have an 1803. So that is all in the works, and that will be signage that will be physically affixed to the building. In addition to that, there's gonna be some monument signage, which will be on the sidewalk. One that will be near Superior and 18th, and another that will be near 21st and Superior. And that will say Board of Elections, will be at eyesight level, directing people down to the parking lot. Now, on 18th Street is where we will advertise for voters to come in and utilize those surface lots. Individuals using the drop box, we will educate them to come in off of 21st. So this way they kind of get that long runway up to the ballot box, and then they can drop and then continue on straight. So kind of drop box traffic, 21st, voter traffic off on 18th. There'll also be some additional signage by where they come in off of 18th. It's actually, it's a driveway, but it's Rockwell Avenue. So they'll have some signage there to get people into that spot, and there'll be more monument signage that will say basically point ADA parking up towards that lot and regular non-ADA parking towards the surface lot. For individuals who have a walker, there has been a accessible parking lot that's been constructed. And can't remember, I want to say 18 maybe marked ADA parking spots versus the 2 that we have now. It meets all the Secretary of State's requirement as far as slopes and things like that. And that will be close to the entrance where we want all of our customers to come in off the parking lot entrance. For now, the Superior entrance doors are closed and locked. Deputy Director Gallagher and I would like to see it stay that way, just because it's easier to educate people and have them come in that way. But county at some point has talked about opening those up, but we'll see how that works. There's no problem with employees coming in off of Superior with a card access system, because that can be unstaffed and not known. But just like here in this building, you know, the front door, individuals don't come in until we open it up for the biggest of big, really in-person voting. And both employees can come in. We want to utilize that same concept at that building there, because where the parking is where the people will come in.
What's that public transportation?
Of which on the corner of 18th and Superior is where the RTA bus stop is. And there's a sidewalk that goes, it hugs the building and leads right to that corner. And so there's a gate there that'll be open during the day. So individuals getting off at that bus stop then can go ahead and take that path into the building, which really is about the same distance from there to the Superior entrance as it is to the back entrance. So, typically, I don't comment on public comment, but this one here, I think is
Yeah, because it goes into your report.
exactly, so the bills upon it.
Refresh my memory, is there a traffic light at 18?
There's a traffic light at 18th and at 21st.
Okay,
That's nice.
so anybody getting off the bus either way would have access to cross the street.
Yes, and actually on the northernmost part of the property, on the north side of the parking garage is St. Clair. And there is a bus line that goes on St. Clair also. There's actually 2 stops on St. Clair. So we have 2 on St. Clair, 1 on Superior. And there is a traffic light at St. Clair and 18th.
18.
I do not think there's a lot, and I'm not sure if there's a light. I don't think so at 21st in St. Clair. Yeah, I don't remember.
Well, thank you. There being no other business before us, I move to recess the meeting. Second.
Second. I'm sorry.
All in
forgot it.
favor, aye? Aye, we all have it. Thank you. We're in recess.
Oh, isn't it?